this is Rich from HouseBarons.com. My brother Dave and I renovate houses, and today we're going to be reviewing the Echo ES255 Shred and Vac. If you're new to our channel, consider subscribing because we want to show you how to do a job yourself so you can save a ton of money. They call this tool the Shred and Vac. I personally think it should be called the Vac and Shred because it has to vacuum up first through there before it can shred. All right, so this machine is actually 3 tools in one. So number one, it's a vacuum, and it vacuums through this giant tube. And then it's also a shredder mulcher. So at the end of the tube, right in here, in this part right here, there are some blades that spin around, and then those shoot out. There's a vacuum, or there's a bag that will attach right here. And then that way you can collect whatever debris that you're shredding. And the other thing it can do, third tool, is it's also a high-powered blower. So to make that tool work, you take this part off and you take this chute off, and then there's a different attachment that goes here, and it turns it into this high-powered blower that they say will blow up to 190 miles an hour, which is, pretty extreme force. So I would say that the reason so far I've liked this tool is, as I mentioned, we're working at a lake house, and at a lake it's always windy. And so we've done it before where we just get those giant blowers. You wear them as a backpack and you blow all the leaves in a pile. But here at the lake, because it's so windy, you can blow them into a pile and then they just blow away. So that's one reason I really do like this machine, because we can, instead of just blowing them all over the place, I mean, we have that option, but we can also vacuum them up. After they go through the shredder, the leaves get reduced like 10 to 1. So it ends up making a pretty fine little leaf pile that you can actually use to compost. Right here is the gas tank, and this takes gas that you have to mix with 2-cycle engine oil, and the mixing ratio is 50 to 1. So you would get a 1-gallon gas container, and then you would just pour in 2.6 ounces of the 2-cycle oil, and they sell them in these little 2.6 ounce bottles, so it makes it real easy. But I've also bought them before where they're in a bigger 2-cycle oil container. Okay, so this is the bag that it comes with that will catch all of your debris that gets shred. And it has this little Velcro strap. So just open up that piece of Velcro, and then that's gonna fit over this little elbow. And it's kind of tight, but it does fit over that. And then just tighten the Velcro, and then you just put this strap over your head to support it. All right, these are the steps to start the Shred and Vac. The first one, as we were talking about right there, put in your gas oil mixture. The second thing we have to do is turn our switch on, and that's right here at the top of the machine. Right there it says stop. So for now, we're gonna start it. So we'll just flip it upward. The third step is to go, this is the choke right here, and we're gonna put it up, flip it up to cold start. And now to prime this, we're gonna press this purge bulb 8 times. All right, so then we're gonna pull the starter cord, and when it's just about to start, we're gonna flip the choke down to run, and then we'll start it right up. As far as safety gear goes, definitely wear eye protection and ear protection because it's pretty loud, and some good work gloves. All right, so now I'm throwing the choke down. remove the bag just by undoing this little strap. All right, so the end of the bag unzips, and then you can see that it shred the leaves into a pretty fine shred. All right, so you can actually leave the bag attached to the machine and just empty it into a receptacle wherever you're going to put it. If you get anything out of this video, please hit the like button. It helps out our channel. Thanks much. This machine is made to remove leaves and like really small sticks, but nothing big. And so there's a chance that something could get vacuumed up in it that will stop the blade or clog it in here. In that case, you have to put it to stop first off, and you want to make sure it doesn't like accidentally start up while you have this whirling blade while you've got your hand in there. So you disconnect the spark plug, which is right here, and you just pull that out. And now there's no way that this can start. The chute just spins off. So you can see in there, this I picked up a stick, and that ended up getting caught in there, and so the machine didn't like it very well. So then we just clean out any other debris. But anyway, in there you can see where the blade is. There's 4 different blades inside here. All right, so after you get all the debris out of here, we're going to attach the vacuum tube again, and that just goes in there and it spins on. And you got to keep turning it until it goes all the way so that it'll be able to start. After you spin the vacuum tube on, then you have to reconnect the spark plug, and that's just a matter of putting the boot back on, and we're ready to go again. Let's talk about how we can convert it from a vacuum shredder over to a blower. And to do that, first off, we'll take off this collection bag. And we need to take off, well, let's get this giant thing off. All right, just turn that and this will pull off. And then this is where the blades were. Go ahead and there's a little dial and just spin that to keep this shut, this little cage. Okay, so to get this tube off, which is the one that attached to the bag, so there's a little lock collar here, and there's one place on the lock collar where you have to put either a coin or a screwdriver into this slot. And while you're doing that, you have to spin the collar. And that will disengage this piece. And so then, we'll put the blower tube in. And then you just spin that lock collar back. So now it looks like a normal blower at this point. And let's go see what this does. Okay, so let's just go over a couple of the pros and cons with this tool. I would say, first off, it's kind of cool that it can, not only vacuum things up, but shred them, and you can also use it as a blower. So that's really awesome. A couple of the things that are a little bit on the questionable side is the bag itself. It's a little bit unwieldy. It's not impossible to use, but you got to get into a groove with it. And it's a little bit on the small side. So if you've got a ton of leaves, you're going to be constantly unzipping that thing and pouring the leaves out. But that's just life. I mean, that's, you know, they probably couldn't make it too much bigger. Otherwise, you know, it'd be like impossible to, you know, be walking around with it. So let's see, the other little bit negative thing is that this thing, when it's doing its vacuum, is pulling up everything around. So if you're in a mulched bed, it might take some of your mulch up in there. So you have to be careful about that. And also it'll tend to take up sticks that are too big for it to handle. And then it gets clogged and you got to go in there and, you know, you have to unclog it. So I think after a while you just kind of get a feel for, oh yeah, I can go to this area, I can't go to that area because there's a bunch of, you know, big sticks around and I know they're going to get jammed. But let's see, what I like about it, I would say a couple of things. First off, the whole deal with that collection bag, even though it's not the biggest thing in the world, it's really cool that the debris that you're getting is going right into that bag. So then, you know, it's fairly easy if you've got your receptacle or wherever you're going to dump it to then just dump that out. Because if you just do a blower method only, now you've got a big pile of leaves to deal with. So at least with this unit, everything's going into a bag that you can manage. And then the second, like probably the feature I like the best about it is you can use it in windy conditions. It's probably like, you know, 30-mile-an-hour winds out today, and I could use the vacuum and shred feature just fine. So for me, the pros outweigh the cons, and so I would buy this tool again. But you know, if you don't want to have to be you know, unclogging it and, you know, fooling with that bag all the time, you might have to find, you know, another tool. But for our purposes, this is a really good tool to use. So if you have any comments or questions, just leave them in the comment section below and we'll respond to those as soon as we can. Also, if you got anything out of the video, if you could give us a like, that helps out our channel and we appreciate it. So if you haven't subscribed, please do, because we have a ton of home improvement videos on the way. And also, thanks for viewing, and be sure to check out this video.